Hello. My name is Zyy'Kirrah Casado, and I am a former member of the Young Lives program. And shout out to all of the Young Lives crew in North Plainfield. I was in that division. I want to say 18. My son's birthday is actually today. He turned 18 years old. So it had to be about, 15 years ago. I was in the Young Lives program, was blessed to be able to meet Lucy Draghi. And I remember having the excitement to always go to these outlets because and the environment that they created for us, they made it fun, it was exciting, it was a learning experience, and they didn't judge us whatsoever. They always made us feel comfortable, and they definitely knew we had issues. So and we were a tough bunch, and to be honest with you, they really helped me to understand and realize that there is the power in the love of God, because certainly these individuals catered to us and did for us when they didn't have to. They didn't ask anything from us. And so it was a very safe environment. And me being a single mother, and all of us, all of the women that were there that were single mothers, we, in most environments or most communities or most arenas back then, you kind of looked at a little sideways when you're a single parent. It's like, you need to really get yourself together. And it wasn't as accepted back then as it is today. And so these programs, the Young Lives Camp, oh my gosh. And I'm over here 36 years old, and I still remember all of the exciting fun that we had, the eating together. That was something that I even still today, somewhat when they want to, because my kids are teenagers now. We implemented those type of behaviors and habits because of being able to see it there as well as from home. And so I just remember being really impacted by the love and the generosity and the caring and the when I remember many times when I needed someone to speak to or I needed someone to connect with, they were absolutely there. And so shout out to Young Lives in North Plainfield and all over the world, because I know it's not thriving without any reason. And so my story is, I was a single parent. When I was turned 18 years old, I became a parent literally 20 days later. And so I had my second son when I was 19 years old. And so I had what they call Irish twins. I think they're Irish twins. I think I make that mark because it's 15 months. I think it has to be 12 months, but we're going to call it, kind of Irish twins. And so I, got into the arena of business really early. I came across what they call network marketing. My first company was in insurance. And one of my first clients was my Young Life director, Lucy. And so I started to really dabble into the world of business very early on. I decided to do it because I started working. I was working at Home Depot. I was working at A&P. I was working retail. I was doing all of this. And so I was really feeling like I was paying somebody to basically for me to put my kids to bed because I never saw them. And, taking on a responsibility 100% for me and my sons, it was a struggle, and I didn't like that struggle. And so I knew that I had to work. I knew that I had to bring in an income, and I knew I didn't want to be on any government assistance for the rest of my life, and I wanted to be 100% self-sufficient, but at the same time still be able to be around my kids. And so one of the things that I decided to do was really figure out this business thing of working from home. And so I got started in a company. I failed miserably for about 5 or 6 years. So I still was collecting. I still was, still trying to figure things out. But the one thing that I did that I think was very instrumental, the first thing I think I did was I was very open to learning, and I would read a lot, which is something that they actually gave you as a incentive in network marketing. They would tell you things like, you need to sharpen your sword by reading, listening to, thought-provoking information, whether it's on YouTube or however they get their information today. There's usually an avenue of some sort. Back then they had, cassette tapes and CDs, and now we do everything MP3, MP4. And so that was something that was really drilled in us being in network marketing. And so that was a blessing for me because it made me change my complete thinking when it came to earning money as well as working from home. I did used to desire to go to college. However, I didn't take that route because I needed the income right away because I was on, I left home for the first time when I was 17 going on 18. I came back twice. And then I really was going for good. I think I was 21 or 22. And so, but again, those trials and error and all of that failing is what taught me to be able to be self-sufficient. I just ended up starting a home-based daycare because I was home already. People would ask me, and actually through welfare, I actually found out about a program that where people were getting vouchers for daycare, but I learned through that program that people also was working from home, like grandparents, and they were getting paid for watching their grandkids. And so I learned the system and I learned that business by being on welfare. So one of the things I always emphasize to people is no matter where you're at, that is not your final destination. You're in that position, in that place for a reason. So don't be caught up in, like in my case, I'm on welfare. Let me beat myself up and walk around with my head down. No, I still had the mind that I wanted and would be what I am today. And I'm still not anywhere near where I want to be. But I definitely had that in my mind even there on welfare. And when you have your mind open and you have faith and you have that wearily face where you know that because you saw it, I would always tell my kids and tell my colleagues, God, don't play them kind of games. If you dreamed it, if you saw it, then it's supposed to be yours. You just have to figure out the bridge between you seeing it and where your reality is. And so I, in that moment, caught that opportunity. And now today I have been working from home and with a home daycare for over a decade. August will be 11 years. And that's without a college education. I'm not knocking college, but I just want you to know that if you did not take that route, that is it's still hope for you as well. And so later on, I ventured off and used my time as wisely as possible. I became an author of 3 books. Two, one is on Amazon and, doing pretty well in those arenas and just putting myself out there. And so I just want to encourage every woman who is watching this in Young Lives or any part of the camp, because, it's Young Lives, Young Lifes, Young Teens, and so many divisions, that everything that you desire can be yours. You just have to understand that you're an extension from him and that he gave you these things that you are capable of manifesting. You just have to be open, be a great person, be a good person, be as good as you can be, and give your best in everything that you do. And so I definitely encourage every single one of you, if you're benefiting from Young Lives, I want you to tell the world. Like, that's one thing that I used to do in Young Lives. I told my cousins, I told my friends, I wanted them to experience that experience and be proud of the experiences that you are experiencing with Young Lives, because they definitely pour into you in such a way that we need in this world, because there is so much there is so little authenticity that I might have said that wrong, but y'all know what I'm trying to say, right? You know what I'm trying to say, okay? Don't be talking about me after this video. But it's such a need to feel and have pure love in this world right now that I definitely recommend that everyone tells them about a Young Life camp. And if you are an adult already, they have so many opportunities to volunteer. All these people are there because of the goodness of their heart. They pour out valuable time. People pour their monetarily, people pour in, but the people who put their hard work, effort, and time, man, it's an experience. And if you've never experienced Young Life, like if you missed that boat and you're already an adult, I recommend that you take advantage of some of the volunteering opportunities as well. And so I thank you, Young Lives. Thank you, Lucy. Love you for life. Lucy actually gave me my first journal. And for the teen moms, I want to just encourage you to journal, because the biggest project of your life is going to be figuring out you. Okay. It's a never ending process. You are always, and you should always be trying to figure out you, figuring out how to get closer to the better version of you. And I guarantee you, if you do that, man, you are going to be on another level. Okay, you're going to be in places that you couldn't even imagine, because journaling for me was my outlet. You know, a lot of times it's hard to trust people with information that's vital, but with your journal you can say whatever you want. And the beautiful thing is, sometimes I go back, look at my old journal, like, man, was I thinking like that for real? For real, for real? Like, come on, Kira. You should know better than that. But you know, when you know better, you do better. And again, making those accounts, if you want to cuss somebody out, you ain't got to really cuss them out, but you can cuss them out in your journal. Yeah, and still maintain your Christianity. So anyway, I just want to thank you guys for all of the love and support that you poured into me in my earlier years, and it's still stemming. Even a few years ago, I used to be in my little church van going to pick up those kids, just like Lucy, and you just don't know the impact. If you don't know, I'm sure you know, but if you don't know, let me just remind you, Young Lives, you impact this world incredibly. Keep doing that great work, and I hope to volunteer when I'm up in New Jersey soon. Love, peace, and hair grease, and thank you so much.